Hello everyone, Will the Outlaw here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Legacy G1 Universe Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime and the G1 universe as a whole gets some much needed attention with this brand new figure in the Legacy line. Okay, seriously, yes, this is another G1 Prime, however, this version literally takes the original toy design and updates it to modern times at a deluxe price point. Optimus Prime was one of the first Transformers toys I ever got way back in 1984, and is one of the few I still have from my childhood. I have had many versions of Prime since then, but this design still holds a special place in my heart, and while G1 Prime has been updated with a lot of differences, I'm happy to see the very first classic design come back, even if it is a little outdated. Taking a look at the figure itself, and surprisingly, it's almost one for one with the original. The proportions are perfectly reminiscent of the G1, complete with the gorilla arms and stubby legs. The coloring is kind of odd, with the reds and blues looking really good, but the gray parts are really dull and seem unfinished. With as good as the rest of the figure looks, that little aspect really affects the overall look. You know, as good as the figure kind of looks, it boggles my mind how little paint there is. Looking over the toy, it seems only the hands and these silver parts are the only paint apps on the figure itself. With as many molded details this figure has, the arms and legs have some great detail. A little more paint would have gone a very long way. The head sculpt is by far my favorite part of this figure. The Japanese robot aesthetic in the head design has returned, and while it is definitely a relic of its original time, this is how Prime looked in the very first time we ever saw him. I know I spoke earlier of the lack of paint apps in the rest of the figure, but I'm just glad they did not skimp out on this glorious head sculpt. The original G1 Prime was one of the most articulated figures in the line at the time. Yeah, that's not saying a lot since most figures were pretty much bricks, but Prime had shoulder, elbow, and knee articulation. This new updated version brings the articulation to modern times. Ball jointed head, shoulders that can go forward, back, in and out. The shoulders also have a backwards hinge with the transformation joint. Elbow swivels, 90 elbow bend, waist swivel, legs that can go forward, back, in and out, 90 knees, and feet with an ankle tilt, and, surprisingly, a swivel. This is the Prime that 80s kids think of when they think of Prime, and now he's as posable as he was in our imagination all those years ago. It's both weird and awesome being able to pose this guy, and the joints are nice and tight, so this thing is all kinds of hand candy. Prime's accessories are pretty boringly standard nowadays, but with a twist. He comes with not one, but two ion cannons. They're both very similar, but one of them is based more on his original toy design. They're both painted in this beautiful gloss black that looks so cool in his hands or on his back. There's nothing cooler than Prime double wielding his blasters like the badass warrior that he is. Another thing he comes with is his Energon axe. It's cast in translucent orange plastic and fits nicely over his hand. That's it. That's all it does. Oh look, another Matrix. I mean, this one is cast in clear blue plastic and fits nicely in his chest. One last thing this Prime can do that most others can't is that he can use his smokestacks as pistols. They don't look as cool as the rifles and don't really fit well in his hand, but the option is there. They use the standard port system, so I wouldn't be surprised if a third party makes new ones for him sometime down the line. I gotta tell you, even though his design and articulation is a little more basic compared to other Primes, I really enjoy posing this guy. Maybe it's my nostalgia talking, but I absolutely love handling and playing with this. It's kinda like Legacy Gears in that respect in terms of fun factor and quality. Transformation is almost exactly the same as his G1 counterpart, minus the parts forming for the hands. Flip the toes up, fold the legs back, and fold the arms and head in. Simple enough, and there are a series of tabs in the arms and legs that go together to make the truck mode more secure. A truck mode is pretty much perfect for what it is. The little details are done perfectly with the rivets and especially the front grille being standouts. That being said, it's probably the best box truck mode Prime has had in a while in terms of toy design. It's simple and is really a great representation of Prime's classic alt mode. The best part though is the fact that the tires are actual rubber, which means he rolls awesomely. The weapons can be placed here on the back. Unfortunately, only one rifle is blast effect compatible, so you can't do a double booster thing. That's unfortunate, but the weapon storage looks good enough and is much appreciated. Now, I know what you guys are asking right now. Can you put any trailers on it? Well, here's how it looks with G1, Earthrise, Legacy Laser, Studio Series 86, and of course, MP10. As much as I like this figure, I do have one big complaint. This thing is small. Now, I know that figures nowadays are relatively smaller than their earlier counterparts, but this thing just looks a lot smaller than its $25 deluxe price point would have you think. So another thing I wanted to bring up was the Takara Missing Link Optimus Prime. I think that version is gorgeous and it looks like a great toy. But I already own a G1 Prime and I couldn't really justify spending $100 on a brand new G1. My original G1 Prime may be worn and a little broken, but it has 41 years of memories attached to it, and to be honest, this legacy version more than scratches that itch for a more articulated, updated G1 Prime. Well, for me at least. With all the different versions of Prime being released lately, this version is a great reminder of where Prime and Transformers as a whole came from, and how far they have come. All in all, G1 Prime is one of the most popular and reissued figures in all of Transformers' 40-year history. The fact that we got not one, but two great articulated remakes is a testament to how important this character is to the brand. Bottom line, I have no regrets picking this up. I may end up getting the missing link at a later date, but for now, this version is more than enough to satisfy my need for an articulated G1 Prime. It may have its roots in a 40+ year design, but it still fits pretty well on a modern shelf. Well, that was my look at Transformers Legacy G1 Universe Optimus Prime. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all soon.
Laters!
Check out my Patreon for early access to my videos and shoutouts on future videos. Join up and let's talk toys.